Some days don't begin with fireworks. They begin with a sigh. A moment where you sit on the edge of the bed, unsure if you can move at all. But then you do. You swing your feet to the floor. You take one breath, one sip of water. You check the time and remind yourself, just this hour. Not the whole day, just this hour. And that is a win. Not a loud one. Not one you'd post about, but a real one. The kind that no one claps for, but still counts. We've been taught to celebrate only the big things, the degree, the promotion, the house, the transformation. But most of life is made of things you can't hang on a wall or fit into a headline. It's made of showing up, making the call even when you're nervous, washing the dishes when you'd rather not, choosing to respond with kindness when it would be easier to stay cold. Small wins aren't small. They're the roots of something steady. They build trust with yourself, not because you did something flashy, but because you didn't quit. Some mornings, the smallest victory is choosing not to speak harshly to yourself. Some nights, it's brushing your teeth after crying all day. Other times, it's just letting the sun fall on your face for 5 seconds longer than yesterday. That's what this book is about. The soft strength of moving inch by inch, of not needing to prove anything to the world, just showing up for yourself in the quietest, kindest way you know how. So if today you made your bed, or didn't, but still stood up, if you drank a glass of water, if you stretched your shoulders, if you let yourself cry instead of holding it in, that's your small win, and it matters more than you think. The world often tells us that to survive, we must be sharp, fast, loud, that we must hustle harder, push more, keep going no matter what. But here's a quiet truth. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to carry armor to be strong. Gentleness is not weakness. It's restraint. It's the choice to stay kind in a world that often isn't. Think about how strong it is to pause instead of lash out, to listen instead of dominate, to feel deeply and still walk forward without shutting down. Some people think being tough means showing no emotion, but real strength is crying and still choosing to get up. Real strength is being soft and not letting the world turn you bitter. Maybe you're the one who checks on others, but rarely gets checked on. Maybe you forgive faster than people expect. Maybe your heart bruises easily, but it also heals others. Simply by being near, that's not weakness. That's power in its most human form. The truth is, it's easy to be cold, to stop caring, to harden. What's hard is to care anyway, to stay open, to hope, to believe in good things even when life keeps trying to convince you otherwise. Gentleness is an act of courage. To be kind in a harsh moment, to love someone when you're hurting, to speak softly when your mind is screaming. That is not small. So if you've ever been told you're too sensitive, remember, that sensitivity is what allows you to notice the little things others miss, the tired eyes behind a smile, the loneliness hidden in a joke, the quiet plea inside someone's silence. Gentleness is strength that doesn't need to shout. It is strength that whispers, "I will not let this world harden me." And that is the bravest thing of all. Some days, the noise outside gets too close. Not just sound, but pressure, expectations, voices that tell you who to be, how to act, what to do. You scroll through perfect lives, polished mornings, people who seem to move faster, smile wider, achieve more. And suddenly, your own quiet pace feels like a flaw. Your silence feels like failure. Your gentle rhythm feels like you're falling behind. But you are not behind. You are simply listening to a softer song. There is power in stepping back, in turning down the volume of the world so you can hear your own breath again. So you can ask yourself, what do I need right now? Not what do they expect from me? The world praises productivity, but you are not a machine. You are a soul in a body that gets tired, that aches, that sometimes just needs to sit still and be. You don't have to prove your worth by how busy you are. Rest is not laziness. Saying no is not selfish. Going slow is not failure. When everything around you feels like too much, you can pause. You can step away from the noise and choose peace over pace. Close your eyes for 1 minute. Let the weight of should melt from your shoulders. Let the urgency leave your chest. Feel the quiet wrap around you like a warm blanket. This is how you return to yourself, not by rushing, but by softening. Not by winning the race, but by remembering you never had to run. The world will keep spinning. Let it. You're allowed to. Move at the speed of peace. Not every morning starts with clarity. Some begin in fog, a heavy kind of silence that wraps around your chest and makes everything feel distant. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, knowing the world expects movement, but your body resists. Even lifting the blanket feels like too much. And yet, you don't have to begin with everything. You can begin with one soft thing. Maybe it's turning on a warm light instead of staring into the dark. Maybe it's placing your feet on the floor, not to rush, just to feel grounded. Mornings don't have to be filled with intensity. They don't need perfect plans or loud motivation. They need rhythm. They need kindness. They need rituals that say, you're safe, you're not late. Let's begin slowly. Try pouring yourself a cup of something warm. Not because it fixes everything, but because holding warmth can remind you that you're still here. Try stretching your arms just a little. Not to burn calories or get fit, but to gently remind your body it exists and it matters. If the world feels overwhelming, you can shrink the scope. Don't think about the entire day. Think about the first 10 minutes. What would make those 10 minutes softer? A favorite song? A quiet sit by the window? A moment to breathe before the noise begins? These are not luxuries. They are anchors. Soft routines are how you rescue yourself from harsh mornings. They are how you show your body and your heart, I won't abandon you, even when it's hard to begin. Because there's a kind of strength in doing small things with love, especially when your mind tells you to do nothing at all. That strength lies in the way you make your bed, in the way you brush your teeth even when your thoughts are loud, in the way you whisper, "One step. That's enough for now." You don't need to conquer the morning. You just need to meet it gently. And sometimes that changes everything. We throw parties for milestones, graduations, weddings, promotions, big victories that shout, "Look what I did." But what about the quiet ones? The ones no one sees? Like the day you didn't cancel on yourself, the moment you spoke kindly to your reflection, the hour you made it through without numbing, blaming, or giving up. These are the celebrations we forget because they're not loud. They don't come with cake or confetti, but they matter just as much, sometimes more. You got out of bed today, even though you didn't feel like it. You answered that message when all you wanted was to disappear. You took a deep breath instead of snapping back. You let yourself rest instead of forcing productivity. That is progress. That is growth. That is resilience in its most human, imperfect, and beautiful form. Not everything worth celebrating is a public achievement. Some victories are personal, private, sacred. We often wait until life looks successful to feel proud. But healing doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it's just surviving another hard moment with gentleness. So what if you started noticing, celebrating the small wins, lighting a candle after doing laundry, smiling at yourself after you said no when you used to say yes, just to please, journaling a single line that says, "I made it through today." These are not silly. They're powerful because they tell your brain, this matters. I matter. My effort counts. And over time, they become evidence. Not that you've done everything, but that you've done what you could. And that's enough. So next time you catch yourself saying, "I didn't do much today," pause, look closer. Maybe you did more than enough, just not in ways the world teaches you to applaud. Let's start clapping for that. For you, for the quiet strength of just trying again. Not every day needs to be a breakthrough. Not every hour must be used well. You are not wasting time when you're simply living. There is beauty in a day with no big news, in waking up, stretching, and choosing peace over pressure, in doing the dishes while humming to yourself, in folding laundry slowly with no rush to finish, only a soft rhythm of care. We've been conditioned to chase more success, more goals, more output. But what if more isn't always better? What if the best days are the quiet ones, where nothing spectacular happens, but your shoulders finally drop, your breath deepens, and you feel, for once, not behind? Let the day be simple. Let it be enough to drink water when you're thirsty, to listen to your favorite song twice, just because it made your heart lighter the first time. You are allowed to spend a day without proving your worth, without documenting it, without explaining it. Some days are for resting, for baking something that doesn't turn out perfect, for rereading a page you love, for lying on the floor and doing absolutely nothing useful except being. And isn't that useful too? To let your body exist without demand? To let your mind wander without guilt? The truth is, simple days are the foundation of steady life. They're where healing happens quietly, where creativity grows without pressure, where joy peeks through in the most ordinary moments. A breeze through the window, the warmth of a mug in your hand, the sound of your own quiet breath. You don't have to earn these soft moments. They are already yours. Let them be. Let the day be soft. Let it be slow. Let it be simple, and trust that in its simplicity, it is still deeply good. It's easy to feel like everyone else is ahead, like they've figured out something you missed. They move with confidence. They speak with certainty. They post pictures that say, "I'm doing fine," even when you're not. And then you start wondering, did I fall behind? Am I too late? Should I be somewhere else by now? But here's something soft to hold on to. There is no finish line. There is no clock ticking down on your worth. You are not late to your own life. Flowers bloom in different seasons. Some need early sun. Others wait for spring rain. But no one questions the beauty of the ones that bloom later. We just admire them when they do. Your journey is not theirs. Your timing is not wrong just because it's different. We live in a world obsessed with speed, fast careers, fast answers, fast healing. But real life moves slower, and real healing moves slowest of all. It takes time to unlearn the noise in your head, time to believe that rest is not weakness, time to trust that soft days still matter. You are not behind. You are simply unfolding at your own pace. And that pace is not broken. It's just yours. If all you did today was take one small step, that's still forward. If all you managed was to be a little kinder to yourself, that's still growth. Please, don't measure your progress by someone else's highlight reel. Measure it by the courage it takes to keep going, even when no one is watching. You're not running a race. You're tending a garden, and gardens don't bloom all at once. They bloom when they're ready, and so will you. They told you to toughen up, to stop crying so easily, to grow thicker skin if you wanted to survive this world. But what they didn't tell you was, softness is also a way to survive, not by building walls, but by keeping your heart open. Despite the hurt, you've been through things. You've had days that bent you, nights that bruised your hope, but still here you are, choosing compassion over anger, choosing to feel even when it stings. That's not weakness. That's resilience wrapped in gentleness. Soft people aren't naive. They know pain deeply. They just refuse to pass it on. They break cycles with their kindness. You know the truth. It takes strength to stay soft in a hard world. It takes endurance to feel everything and still get out of bed, to still make someone smile, to still believe that love is worth it. You survive not by becoming someone else, but by remaining yourself even when the world tried to change you. Maybe you cry at songs. Maybe you notice when someone's voice cracks. Maybe you still hold the door open, even when no one says thank you. That softness is not a flaw. It's your way of saying, I won't let this world take my warmth from me. You don't need to be loud to be brave. You don't need to be sharp to be safe. You just need to keep showing up with your honest heart, with your gentle hands, with your tired but unbroken soul. Because survival isn't always about fighting. Sometimes it's about choosing to love anyway, to create softness where there is noise, to bring calm where there is chaos, to be light when the sky turns gray. And that is survival at its most beautiful. Not loud, but lasting. Not sharp, but whole. Progress doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives quietly, in the way you react a little slower before snapping, in the way you say no without guilt, in the way your body finally relaxes, even just for a moment, in a space you once felt tense. You might not notice it at first, because it doesn't look like fireworks. It looks like breathing easier in situations that once felt suffocating. It looks like choosing rest without needing to justify it. It looks like walking away from things that drain you without needing a reason that convinces everyone else. That is progress. Real, lasting, quiet progress. You don't have to reinvent your life to be moving forward. You just have to keep honoring yourself in small, repeated ways. Did you speak to yourself more gently today? That's growth. Did you ask for help even though it felt awkward? That's courage. Did you leave your bed when it felt heavy? That's strength. The world may not see these moments, but they shape you. They build a version of you that is steadier, softer, and more whole. And the beautiful thing about quiet progress is, it doesn't disappear when no one's watching. It stays with you. It becomes your new normal. There's no need to rush. The pace of real change is patient. It honors the rhythm of your healing. And it doesn't punish you for needing more time. Even on the days when all you do is survive, you are still becoming. Even when you feel like you're standing still, you are still learning, still softening, still growing. So trust the quiet. Trust the tiny shifts inside you. They are building something steady and strong, not all at once, but one kind moment at a time. In the end, it's not the dramatic moments that shape us most. It's the steady rhythm of ordinary days, of small wins stacking gently, one on top of the other, like stones across a river, creating a path to something softer, something truer. You may not remember the exact moment you began healing. You may not have a date for when you started to forgive yourself. But you will notice that the pain doesn't speak as loudly anymore, that the shame isn't as heavy, that the mornings somehow feel a little lighter. This is what small wins do. They don't shout, but they stay. They become a new foundation, quiet, humble, and steady. A life built on small wins doesn't look perfect. It looks real. It looks like pausing mid-task just to breathe, like reaching for water instead of escape, like choosing softness again and again, even when it would be easier not to. You don't have to become someone else to feel better. You just have to start noticing what already helps. And then repeat it. Repeat the quiet walk after dinner. Repeat the deep breath before replying. Repeat the moment where you say, "This is enough for now." This is how a gentle life is made, not in leaps, but in small, quiet returns to yourself. The world will keep telling you to go faster, to do more, to be more. But here's the truth. You are already becoming right here, in the way you keep showing up. In the way you choose presence over pressure. You are building something no one can take from you. A soft kind of strength. A life that doesn't need noise to be meaningful. A way of living that says, I may not always be okay, but I will always come back to myself gently. And that is a win. Every single time. Thank you for listening to Audiobook Healing. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button to spread positivity to others.